Hi friends, welcome to Mock Skate Academy. நான் கார்த்திக் பேசுறேங்க. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கிளாஸ்ல ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இன் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் எக்கனாமி தான் பார்க்க போறோம். சரியா? 2015 டு 2018 அதாவது கடைசி பண்ணப்பட்ட ஃபாரஸ்ட் அப்ரெண்டிஸ் எக்ஸாமினேஷன் வரைக்கும் 423 கொஸ்டின் வந்திருக்குதுங்க. மொத்தமா 61 எக்ஸாம்ஸ் கலெக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க இந்த 3 வருஷத்துல TNPSC. இந்த 423 கொஸ்டினையும் ஒன்றா பார்த்துக்கலாம். இந்த அனாலிசிஸ் 2018 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பார்த்துடலாம். 114 கொஸ்டின் வந்துருக்குது. இது மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் அதிகமாக இருக்கும். இது வந்து குரூப் 1 ஸ்டாண்டர்ட், அதாவது 150 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் ஜென்ரல் ஸ்டடீஸ், ஜென்ரல் சயின்ஸ் அண்ட் கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ், 50 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் ஆப்டிடியூட், அந்த பேட்டர்ன். அதனால தான் அதிகமாக இருக்குது. ஸோ வி கேன் மினிமம் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் 4 டு த மேக்ஸிமம் 7. Forest apprentice. In India, which state ranks first in onion production? Maharashtra. Which of the following is not a service? Agriculture. It's not a service. In India, carbon tax is imposed on only coal. As on March 31st, 1990, the growth of investment in public sector in monetary term was rupees 86,000 crore. RBO means removal of poverty. இது வந்து அந்த planning commission அப்போ வருங்க. The major method of disinvestment used in India is strategic sale. What is CSO? Central Statistical Organization. When was demonetization announced in India? November 8, 2011. Demonetization. In which year GST was introduced? 2017. The factors which influence Indian economy development are economic and non-economic factors. What was the crop insurance scheme introduced? April 1985. During the 11th 5-year plan, Indian GDP increased by 7.9%. When was the slogan? 4th 5-year plan. அது என்னன்னு கேட்டாங்க. இது வந்து என்ன எந்த பிளான்ல வந்து சொல்லி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. What did the Indian Planning Commission strongly recommend for the agricultural sector? Government should invest more in agriculture. Uday scheme is related to electricity. When was the Tamil Nadu Industrial Guidance and Export Promotion Bureau established? 1992. Name the economist played a leading role in the second year plan. Translation Officer. NRHM was launched in April 12, 2005. GST introduced in India 1st July 2017. The total number of public sector enterprises had signed MOU for the year 2008 to 2009 were 125. Who was the chairman of First Finance Commission of India? KC. What is an all India inflation rates based on CPI during the year 2015 to 2016? 4.91. Expansion of MTNL. Planning Commission was dissolved on 17th August 2014. The Reserve Bank of India was established by the Act of 1935. To identify the aim and purpose of the scheme, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushalya Yojana from the following and choose the correct answer. 4 மட்டும்தான் கரெக்ட்டுங்க. To train 10 lakh of rural youths for job in 3 years. Global Competitiveness Report is published by World Economic Forum. Mr. Assistant Agriculture Officer, Food for Work program was introduced during the 5th 5-year plan. In India, present trend of rapid urbanization is due to lack of employment opportunities in rural areas. Who can issue 1 rupee note of India? Ministry of Finance தாங்க, RBI கிடையாது. 1 rupee note can be issued by Ministry of Finance. National income of country can be calculated by 3 methods. First 5-year plan என்ன பண்ணாங்க? அக்ரிகல்ச்சரை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் பண்ணாங்க. இது எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். Second plan rapid industrialization. 5th 5-year plan removal of poverty. 10th 5-year plan equity and social justice. The Human Resource Development is a composite index of each country in health status, education, per capita, GDP. The most important small-scale industry in India is the handloom industry. Who introduced tax for irrigation first time in India? Feroz Tughlaq. Vietnam, down. Spain, என்ன ருப்பீன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Spain என்ன? Euro. Cuba, So, Myanmar, who is the author of the theory of industrial organization? Agricultural Officer Extension. Indira Awas Yojana, introduced in the year 1985. National Social Assistance Program, 1995. National Rural Drinking Water Program, 2009. Nirmal Gram Puraskar, 2003. Which one of the following is a governmental scheme for the benefit of women in difficult circumstances? Swada. The tools of fiscal policy of India: public revenue, public expenditure, and public debit. Who is the governor of Reserve Bank of India? Urjit Patel. இப்போ இவர் இல்ல, ராஜினாமா பண்ணிட்டாரு. பாப்போம் யார். When was the policy National Mineral Exploration Policy launched? July 2016. Nand Kishore Singh, 15th Finance Commission. Vijay L. Kelgar, 13th Finance Commission. C. Rangarajan, 12th Finance Commission. V. Venugopal Reddy, 14th Finance Commission. India witnessed the goods and service tax is introduced on 1st July 2017. Which one of the following programs was launched on October 2, 2014? Swachh Bharat Mission. Every increasing state activities is the law of the plan outlay for industrial sector during the first plan in India was rupees 55 crore. With reference to the World Bank estimate, what is the share of service sector in total employment in India during 2017? 31%. In planning, the slogan of refers to removal of poverty. Black revolution and petroleum production, grey fertilizer, pink prawns and onions, silver cotton. Motor vehicle inspector. Name the economist who got the first Nobel Prize for the econometrics. The laws of economics are to be compared with the laws of tides rather than with the simple and exact law of gravitation by Marshall. Reserve Bank of India started in the year 1935. Pragati Scholarship Scheme for Government of India is meant for technical education of girls. In recent times, unaccounted money has been used for financing speculative dealings. Wage cut is sometimes recommended as a remedy for depression. Budget. Professor Fisher, equation of exchange, tax, public finance. Basic goods, capital goods, next consumer goods, or intermediate goods. What is not an international body? SARC is not an international combined engineering service. District Rural Development Agency was formed in the year 1980. National Development Council was formed in 1952. Open market operations of RBI refers to buying and selling of eligible securities. நித்தி ஆயோக் எப்போ கொண்டு வரப்பட்டது? 1st January 2015. National Development Council 6th August 1952. Finance Commission 22nd November 1951. Planning Commission 15th March 1950. Who was the chairman of first Planning Commission in India? Jawaharlal Nehru. Headquarters of World Trade Organization is in Geneva. Indian State Financial Corporation have given assistance mainly to develop medium and small scale industries. 14 major banks were nationalized in India in the year 1969. First Finance Commission, 4th 10th 12th laboratory assistant, basic goods and fertilizer and chemicals, capital goods, machineries, engineering to goods, consumer goods, cycle refrigerators, intermediate goods, plywoods and pipe. First 5-year plan, agriculture. Second 5-year plan, rapid industrialization. 5th 5-year plan, removal of poverty. 10th 5-year plan, equity and social justice. When was integrated rural development program extended to all blocks of the country? 1980. எப்போ extend ஆகுதுன்னு கேக்குறேன். Among these, which is not the function of commercial bank, bankers, agents and advisors to the Assistant Commissioner of Labor, who was the chairman of 14th Finance Commission. The government of Maharashtra has first introduced the Employment Guarantee Scheme. The total oil seeds production in India was 32 tons in the 2016 to 2017. இதெல்லாம் அப்டேட் பண்ணணும், கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ்ல அப்டேட் பண்ணணும். Reserve Bank of India was inaugurated in April 1935. Nehru second 5-year plan. Industrialism. Which of the following is a traditional small industry? Coffee and handloom. When was Make in India launched by Government of India? 25 September 2014. Open sky policy introduced in 1992 of aviation by the Indian government is associated with cargo transport. So now the following is public sector organization. Public sector. Adam Smith's famous book Wealth of Nation was published in the year 1776. The Kisan Credit Card Scheme was introduced in India in the year 1998 to 99. Essential Commodities Act was enacted in India in the year 1955. Adam Smith, Canon of Equity. Incorrect. A tax system in which both tax rate and tax base are positively related is progressive tax. When was National Planning Commission set up by the central government? 1950. Junior analyst. Which year the multi-fiber agreement in textile and clothing come to an end? 2005. Issues in monetary management. Rangarajan. Theory of economic growth. Lewis. Purchasing power of money. Value of money. Government launched zero defect, zero effect scheme. Zero defect, zero effect scheme to promote MSME sector of India. The new agricultural policy was announced in the year 2000. The famous book Public Finance was published in the year 1928. RADF full form in a Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. National Agricultural Insurance Scheme was introduced in India during the period 1999 to 2000. MODVAT means Modified Value Added Tax. combines with the CCC 4. Recommendation of 15th Finance Commission will effect from 1st April 2020. Which commission sets up international food standard products? Supply is constant in very short period. Agricultural productivity can be measured in terms of land and labor productivity. A classical economist believed in free trade policy. The Planning Commission in India is now known as Niti Entrepreneurship Development Program is associated with to bring out the talent of women. New agricultural price policy was announced in the year 1986. The birth of economics of education was announced by Jawaharlal Gram Samriddhi Yojana 1999, National Social Assistance Program 1995, Employment Assurance Scheme 1993, Integrated Rural Development Program 1977. Executive Officer Ray. The public distribution system serves the purpose of supplying essential commodities at lower price. Identify the period marked as Plan Holiday in India 1966 to 69. Why Aadhaar number is linked with PAN number to enable the government for distribution of subsidy to needy peoples. Highest energy consumption to the lowest energy consumption. Industry, next domestic use, next agriculture, then public lighting. The following tax contributed the maximum share in Tamil Nadu total tax revenue 2013 to 14. General Sales Tax GST. RBI raises the interest rates and cash reserve ratio to control rise in prices. Yes. ANRR. The implementation of land reforms is done by Revenue Department. It's 2017. The outlines of second 5-year plan was made by the NDC decided to launch a program to initiate the states to increase the share of the investment in agriculture in these their state plans. The program is called. In India, the level of consumer expenditure is desirable, which secure a diet adaptation at least in terms of calories, said by Dankar and Rath. Recently, CSO has changed the base year of national income estimates. The new base year is current affairs check பண்ணிக்கங்க இருக்கும். Father of White Revolution in India, Verghese Kurian. The Million Well scheme was launched in the year 1988 to 89. Which year the National Mental Health Program was started in India? 1982. The famous book Principles of Public Finance was published in the year 1922. Family planning program is implemented by which government of India? State government with full financial assistance of central government. Major exports of Tamil Nadu in textile, chemical and engineering. Current affairs check பண்ணுங்க. எவ்வளோ மாறி இருக்கலாம். ஏன்னா இது 2017 வந்து இது 1 year ஆயிடுச்சு இல்லையா? Government has recently allowed 100% FDI. Current affairs check பண்ணணும். The book Public Finance was written by which of the following is a direct tax? Direct tax. Which bank was the first to introduce ATMs to the world and when? Citibank in 1970. Bad money drives out good money was stated by Thomas. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Program Act was implemented with effect from 2nd February 2006. The canons of public expenditure was given by Professor. The Planning Commission was set up in. The National Income Estimation in India is prepared by Central Statistical Organization. The Universal Immunization Program was introduced in India in the year 1978. The rate of saving is low in India for the following reason. 214. In India, the proceeds of disinvestment has been put into consolidated fund, which is used for transport development and social sector schemes. The program associated with Food for Work is Sampurna Gramin Yojana. Which of the following is not the other name for New Agricultural Strategy, New Revolution? What is the meaning of a stripe in our national currency symbol? Equality. Which among the following goods is exempted from GST? Current affairs check பண்ணுங்க. The process through which culture influences a social system is called institutionalization. Committee on Financial Sector Reforms. Raghuram Rajan, Committee on Financial Inclusion. Rangarajan, Direct Tax Inquiry Committee. Methodology for Estimation of Poverty. The GCF in agriculture and allied sectors of India during 20.1 GDP, 18.5 of GDP. Which of the following is not a method calculating? The moon method தான் இது கிடையாது saving method இல்லை. Which of the following public sector undertaking is not included in the 9-unit Navaratna organized by India? இது வந்து HMT வந்து நவரத்னா கிடையாதுங்க சரியா? The second stage of demographic transition is characterized by high birth rate and falling death rate. Azari report reviewed the working of industrialized licensing under industries. Rangarajan committee, disinvestment of shares in PSC. Nayak committee, problems of untimely and inadequate credit availabilities to SSI. What are the components of gross domestic capital formation, gross domestic saving and capital inflow, and gross domestic fixed capital, and change in stock? Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana is launched in India for rural empowerment. In which year Reserve Bank of India was established? 1935. Multinational corporations are also known as transnational corporations. Taxable capacity refers to the tax burden which the people can bear in a country was given by. NTCP refers to National Tobacco Control Program. Mumbai, MTNL. Delhi, BSNL. Private sector, BSNL. Government of India. The year 1872 marked the beginning of census taking in India. Sorry, geography level census. The first country to develop a scientific system of recruitment was China, where recruitment through competitive exam was first introduced in the 2nd century. The tax is charged on some items which are manufactured in the country. This is collected by the government of India. This tax is excise duty. The basic objective of Gandhian plan brought out by S.N. Agarwal was to raise the material as well as the cultural level of Indian masses. The last deputy chairman of Planning Commission of India was Ahluwalia. The first stage of strategy related to intensive agricultural district program was started in the year 1960-61. Which of the following statements are correct with regard to Tamil Nadu Pudu Valvu project? 15 World Bank assistance outlay 1,667 crore. Districts, yes, all are correct. Which of the following aim comes under Prime Minister Krishnan Sai Yojana to increase groundwater? The scheme to provide support to training and employment of women was launched in the year 1986 to 87. Which one of the following is the objective of Perspective Plan 2023? Create employment opportunity. Which one of the following state government has shifted its financial year from Madhya Pradesh? மறுபடியும் கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸை செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. தி மே சேஞ்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கலாம். சரி. Which one of the following changes was not called by the Gandhian model and growth in the Indian planning system to replace employment oriented planning with the production oriented planning? Which one of the following is not correctly matched? When BSc Sensex has reached its maximum 30,000 marks for the first time in the history, 26th April 2017, the percentage of current affairs check பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Percentage of yearly majority in a social system is 34. The organization which advises the government of India regarding agricultural price policy, CACP. The Department of Agricultural Marketing in Tamil Nadu has started functioning in the year 1977. In first spell of nationalization of banks, 14 banks were nationalized. Agmark label is compulsory for export. The Indian rupee symbol was adopted by Indian government in the year 2010. Johannesburg 2002 United Nations Conference was on sustainable development. First time banks were nationalized in India 1969. Bilateral trade means trade between two countries. Coca-Cola is a multinational corporation. What was the fund limit of a small scale industry in the 10th 5-year plan? 50 crores. In which year was the import of food grains in India is nil? 1995 and 1996. Jawahar Gram Smriti Yojana is a program to eliminate Poverty. Which fire plan aimed at improving the quality of life of common people? 8th fire plan. In which year the government of India announced its new agriculture policy? The year 2000. What gift did former Soviet Russia give to the world? Planning. Which is the backbone of the Indian economy? Agriculture. Doctors, teachers, bank staff, and transport workers are comes under service sector. Selling equity shares of public sector enterprises refers to disinvestment. National Small Industries Corporation was established in the year 1955. In calculating the country's GNP at market prices, which one of the following is not included? Depreciation allowance. The basic aim of economic planning in India is promoting economic growth. Which state has cyber park? Kerala. The tobacco industry is one of the oldest industry of India. Belongs to agro-based and labor-intensive. C plus I plus G. இது என்ன formula அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேக்குறாங்க. It's a formula for GNP, Gross National Product. The approach followed by Pura model is Neo-Gandhian approach. Under the following, which one is correct answer? Blue box subsidies are direct payments made to farmers. Where was the first Indian Asian Business Summit held in New Delhi? Which policy envisages rapid industrialization with modernization for attaining rapid economic growth of GDP? New economic policy. The headquarters of the headquarters of Asia Pacific Economic Corporation is Singapore. Green Revolution, crops. White Revolution, dairy farming. Yellow Revolution, fruits. Pink Revolution, poultry. The level of malnutrition in all expenditure groups was higher in the urban areas. A plan of economic development was popularly known as Bombay Plan. Which country introduced biometric visas to India from 2015 onwards? France. Current affairs question. Which of the following is not a woman entrepreneurship program? Caring. FIPB refers to Foreign Investment Promotion Board. Per capita income means national income divided by population. Which are the four factors of production? Land, labor, capital, organization. Education is consumption good and investment good. Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana 1999. National Social Assistance Program 1995. Employment Assurance Scheme 1993. Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana 2002-2001. In many countries, poverty lines are measured through the level of nutrition. The motto of the 12th 5-year plan is faster, sustainable, and more inclusive growth. When and where the National Institute of Intellectual Property Management has been set up? 2012 at Nagpur. The GDP growth rate in India of the year 2015 to 16 is 7.6. Current affairs check பண்ணிக்கோங்க. What is the current GDP ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு எக்கனாமிக் கீழே இருக்கும். India has been ranked 112 out of current affairs check பண்ணிக்கோங்க. WFI என்னன்னு சொல்லி வைக்கிறாங்க. World Economic Freedom Index. The state with the largest number of Buddhists in India is Maharashtra. After 1991, the government of India implemented various reforms in the area of taxation. This was based on the recommendation of the Raja Chellaya Committee. Which of the following committee examined and suggested financial sector reforms? Narasimha Committee. India Vision 2020 is a document prepared by Shyam Prasad Gupta. The main objective of the policy of disinvestment of equity capital of public enterprise is to reduce the burden of budgetary support to them. Who is called the father of modern currency? Sir Shah. The Prime Minister who introduced the new economic policy in India was P.V. Narasimha Rao. Now, unemployment and underemployment. Main cause of rural employment, unemployment, population pressures. Indian agriculture is marked by low productivity. A majority of people in rural areas do not have enough assets, especially agricultural productivity can be measured in terms of land and labor productivity. Which one is the oldest as well as the largest industry of India? Textile industry. The Kisan credit card scheme was introduced in August 1998. Which one of the following is not coming under income method? Export of goods and services. Red revolution, meat or tomato. Pink, shrimp. Golden revolution, fruits, apple. Silver revolution, eggs. NSSO, 55th round. Decline of poverty to 26%, 30-day recall methodology. Decline in poverty to 7-day recall methodology. Economic survey. Who was the first chairman of ISRO? Vikram Sarabhai. Total outlay of 11th 5-year plan method 36,44,718 கோடி. Expand FERRA and FEMA Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. The problem before us is to have democracy, we have it politically, and we need to expand it in the economic field also. Who said this? Jawaharlal Nehru. TROI, Telecom, SEBI, Stock Market, SIS, Electricity, NTPC, Export Promotion. The term Sulka refers to custom duty. Gandhian plan is to provide bank account to all. Which bank was called Imperial Bank? State Bank of India. Second 5-year plan was formulated based on the new agricultural technology was tried as a pilot project and was called as Intensive Agricultural District Program. Which plan had set the correct goal in the form of moving towards faster and more inclusive growth? 11th 5-year plan. Which district has the highest per capita income in Tamil Nadu in 2010 to 2011? Kanyakumari. Pick out the option in which the two least populous states of India are given: Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. The share of mechanical and electrical power in agriculture in the year 2003 to 4, 84%. Who was the person behind White Revolution? Dr. Verghese Kurri. India recorded the highest growth rate of national income during 5th 5-year plan. How many times has the Indian currency been demonetized so far? 3 times. Kishori Shakti Yojana scheme is for girls of age 11 to 18. Professor PC model of plan based on Russian experience. The term sustainable development first used by the World Conservation Strategy. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Periyar, Haryana, Kranangal, West Bengal, Damodar Valley. Discussed unemployment in place, zero marginal productivity of labor. First woman chairman of the State Bank of India is Arundhati Bhattacharya. Bharat Nirman program aim to provide basic amenities to rural people. Which of the statement is given as a feather of new policy? Reforms in trade policy and reduction in fiscal deficit. The aim of Annapurna scheme is providing food security for senior citizens. The term demographic dividend refers to increase in working class. The largest share of energy is consumed by urban power supply. The main functions of Niti Aayog does not include dispersal of funds to central ministers and state governments. Descending order based on the size of population. Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal. இது geography வருங்க. The human population is currently exhibiting exponential growth. இதுவும் geography தான். The Lorentz curve is a measure of income inequalities. The Planning Commission of India was changed a Niti Aayog in January 2015. The LPG model of development was introduced in 1991 by Dr. Manmohan Singh. In an open economy, GDP is the sum of consumption, gross investment, government spending, and net exports. The minimum support prices are a means of supporting the farmers. Which one of the following is an indirect tax? Service tax. The Indian government gets 30% of India's total energy needs are met through imports. In which year was Green Revolution introduced? 1967. Who gave the name Hindu Rate of Growth? Raj Krishna. In which year child labor policy was passed? 1987. National income of a country can be calculated by three methods. Which is not a cause for population explosion? High death rate. Who is the changing agent of the society? Entrepreneur. In which 5-year plan the growth model given by was applied? Second 5-year plan. Who is the chairman of 13th Finance Commission? Dr. Vijay. India's strategy for industrial development witnessed major change in 1991. Until 1991, producers were given limited chance for innovation and competitions. A is correct, and R is the correct explanation of. In which industrial policy industries in India were classified into three schedules? 1956. New economic policy was introduced in the year 1991. Actual rate of increasing national income during 10th plan period was 7.6%. The annual average rate of growth of population during 2001 to 2011 in India is 1.64. Which one is not a factor of influencing population? Poverty. Who of the following is the final authority to approve the final year plans? National Development Council. இது இப்போ மாறிடுச்சுங்க. சரியா, நித்தி ஆயோகா மாறிடுச்சு. செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. When was the National Development Council was set up? 6th August 1952. நித்தி ஆயோக் வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி பிளானிங் கமிஷன் இருந்துச்சு இல்லையா, அதோட பிளானிங் கமிஷன் முடிவு எடுக்கிறதுல நம்ம தான் சைன் பண்ணுவோம். Which of them is caused as social overheads, health, hygiene and education? Some formerly higher income and higher growth states now weaken growth in the 11th plan, most prominent of which are Karnataka and TN. இது கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸை செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Under whose recommendation rural credit of RBI was handed over to NABARD? It was mentioned under which plan? The basic goal is a rapid increase in the standard of living of the people, and again emphasis is placed on the common man. The weaker section and the less privileged is fourth 5-year plan. The first three plans talked about the setting up of social pattern of society. Under the 13th Finance Commission, the highest fund transfer was made to which state? Uttar Pradesh. இதெல்லாம் அவ்வளோக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இல்லை, ஏன்னா இப்போ நித்தி ஆயோக் வந்துருச்சு. ஃபினான்ஸ் கமிஷன் ஒன்று ரன்னிங்கில் போயிட்டுருக்கு, அங்கங்கே எல்லா ஸ்டேட்டையும் விசிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அந்த கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ்லாம் அப்டேட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்குங்க. Who advocated tax on expenditure? Non-intervention of the government in production activities, the policy is called. Which sector got the highest allocation in the 12th Finance Commission? Social. இப்போ நித்தி ஆயோக் வந்துருச்சு, அதனால கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ் செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. The scheduled bank are those which are entered in the second schedule of RBI Act 1934. Match the states with the child sex ratio for 2011. Kerala அதிகமாக இருக்கும். ஹரியானா 830, தமிழ்நாடு 946, உத்தர் பிரதேஷ் 899. In the system of currency notes, which system is followed in India? Minimum reserve system. Which market is an ideal form of organization which by providing easy liquidity encourages the public to invest and this brings out the latent surplus in the economy? Stock market. Who was the chairman of first finance commission? Which of the following is correct as per the population census of 2011? 940 females. Who was the real architect of the second 5-year plan? The Negru model was introduced in the second plan. The business to business kind of e-commerce refers to a company selling or buying from other companies. With the business to customer type of e-commerce, the company first established a website on the internet. Both are correct. The change in rural consumers' expenditure on non-food products are compared to the urban consumer in 2013 increased. Current affairs check பண்ணுங்க. The chairman of 14th Finance Commission is PV Reddy. இப்போ யாரு அப்டேட் பண்ணுங்க. The agency estimating the national income of India is Central Statistical Organization CSO. The 12th plan period is 2012 to 2017. இதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நிதி ஆயோக் கொண்டு வந்துட்டாங்க. 2017 இல்ல, அதுக்கு முன்னாடிலேருந்தே இருக்கு நிதி ஆயோக். The main driver of inflation in India in the last few years has been escalated food prices, intangible goods, health, research, quality, and education. The statistical indicator of equitable distribution of income is coefficient. Which one of the following finance commission prescribed the devolution of tax revenue to states on the net proceeds of all central taxes? 11th Finance Commission. Inflation is caused by increase in money supply. The demography of India, which one of the following year is called the year of Great Divide? 1921. Population density in India as per 2011 census is 382 per square kilometer. The chairman of India 14th Finance Commission is Y.V. Reddy. Green revolution means using HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides and machineries. India first greenfield economic zone is Indore. Green revolution increases the food grain production in rice and wheat. Characteristic of land, fixed in supply. Characteristic of labor, mobile. Characteristic of capital, productive. Characteristics of organization, taking risk. Agriculture production means the ratio between input and output. Poverty has been defined as lack of adequate income. One of the objective of 11th 5-year plan is given below. Choose it correctly. To reduce the dropout rate in primary school education. Globalization mainly signifies economic integration. Which sector not included in the occupation pattern? Private sector. The nationalization of banks took place in 1969 and some private sector units rendered sick and waiting to be shut down were nationalized in 1976. C. Rajagopalachari was a known advocate of the free market philosophy. An important objective of national population policy of 2000 was to achieve a stable population by 2046. Public-private partnership is emerging as a preferred instrument for the development infrastructure. The mostly accepted measure for finding out the level of employment is usual status. Which of the following is a land reform measure adopted in India? Abolition of zamindari system. Who is the chairman of the Indian Planning Commission? Prime Minister. Which one of the following is not yet tenancy reform? Abolition of intermediates. The World Trade Organization is a successor to which one of the following institutional arrangement? General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. Which is correctly matched? Vimal Jain, Governor of RBI in 1997. Which of the following 5-year plan of India has stressed expansion, excellence, and equality in education? 12th 5-year plan. Indian economy is a mixed economy. Mixed economy. Which industrial phase is called the period of industrial recovery? Phase 3, 1981 to 91. During which 5-year plan of India, National Development Council adopted a 14-point resolution to achieve 4% agricultural growth? 11th 5-year plan. Who was the chairman of 12th Finance Commission constituted by the President of India? C. Rangarajan. Identify the 12th five-year plan of India 2012 to 2017. Who is the chairman of Indian Planning Commission? Prime Minister of India. Primary sector consists of agriculture. The first demographer was the 10th five-year plan period of 2002 to 2007. This is social geography level. 2002 to 2007. Priority was given to reduction of poverty and population growth. Yes, A and R are correct. And R is the correct explanation of A. Which country is said to become the first ever cashless country in the world? Sweden. The physiographs considered only the following as productive occupation: agriculture. The difference between NNP and NDP: current transfers from the rest of the world. Which of the following is not an objective of India's economic planning? Population growth. The life expectancy of India during 2011 census is 69.89 years. Who is the chairman of 10th Finance Commission? K.C. Pant. In 1950, Planning Commission was set up by Jawaharlal Nehru. The period of 12th five-year plan is 2012 to 2017. The least populous union territory of India as per 2011 census is Lakshadweep. Who is the chairman of Niti Aayog? Prime Minister. Which year has a special significance in Indian economy as far as economic reforms are concerned? 1991. Which plan was implemented after the annual plans of 1966 to 1969? Fourth plan. Net national product is GNP minus depreciation. NNP. When a person lives below the minimum subsistence level, he is said to live in absolute poverty. Consumer courts are set up in three-tier system. Grey Revolution, eggs and poultry. Golden Revolution, horticulture. Yellow Revolution, oil seeds. Blue Revolution, marine products. In India, the organization which was responsible for self-sufficiency in food production was, as explained by Robert Malthus, population increase in the geometric ratio. இது வந்து ஜியோகிராஃபில வருங்க, social geography. Next 2015 question. For the calculation of national income in India, electricity, gas and water supply is included under which sector? Industry. The term fragmentation refers to fourth world country, refers to least developed country. Which of the following is not a method of estimating national income? Matrix method. Niti Aayog was established in the year January 1, 2015. Seasonal unemployment is a characteristic of agriculture. What was the aim of the National Food Security Mission, which was started in 2007 to 2008, to increase the production of rice, wheat and pulses? Rajiv Awas Yojana, Slum Free India. Jalmani, Safe and Clear Drinking Water. Bharat Nirman, Rural Infrastructure. Indra Awas Yojana, Public Housing Scheme. Unification of the domestic economy with the world economy is known as globalization. In India, fiscal year starts from America's central bank is narrow definition of money supply is M1. Which of the following is not a method of estimating national income matrix? Services taxes are imposed by Government of India. RBI was constituted for high-level panel in Jan 2015 to study which bank? Urban Cooperative Bank. Current affairs. What percentage was distributed to rural development in the 12th 5-year plan? Per capita income rises when GNP increases faster than population. During which 5-year plan was the primary responsibility of India's development shifted to the public sector? Second 5-year plan. Which one of the following is not an aspect of Green Revolution? Enforcing high level of labor use in agriculture. Which of the following is a scheme launched in April 1989, merging the former two schemes? Jawaharlal. Annual plans were implemented during the period 1966 to 1969. Taxes raised are credited to consolidated fund. Disinvestment will not result in releasing of public increasing employment. What is the gross capital formation as per percentage of GDP in the India for the year 2012 to 2013? 34%. In which plan period HPOI seeds and new agricultural strategy was adopted in India? During annual plan. Then the 5-year plan illa. In an economy, too much of money chasing too few goods. Situation is called inflation. Which one of the following is the largest service in industry in the world? Tourism. Which one of the following programs is related to employment generation? Swarna Jayanti Gram Yojana. Land reforms provide incentive and encouragement to the tillers. Who among the following has made the first systematic attempt of planning in India? Space. Third committee, industrial licensing. Co-committee, direct taxes. Rajamannar Committee, central taxes. Rangarajan Committee, disinvestment. Agricultural unemployment may be classified into seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, and chronic unemployment. National population policy adopted in 2000 with a view to encourage two children norm and aim at stabilizing the population by 2046. Are in the following sectors in India descending order according to the commercial energy consumption? The MGNREGS differs from other poverty alleviation measures in the following aspects. In India, the contribution of agricultural sector towards the gross domestic production is 13.7%. Which one of the following is not the feather of democratic socialism? No faith in a mixed economy. Devaluation is a measure of monetary authority to reduce the foreign value of domestic currency, mainly to increase exports. Proposal to set up India's first women bank was mooted in Union Budget 2013 to 2014. Choose the following item that does not comprise under food subsidy in India. Subsidies to fertilizer. Estimates of physical capital formation in India is done by Central Statistical Organization. Human Development Report of the World prepared and released by UNDP. In Tamil Nadu, what was the share of primary sector in its net state domestic product during 2012 to 2013? 7.8%. Green revolution included the following: hybrid seeds and chemical fertilizer. The gross enrollment ratio in class 1 to 5 for the year 2012 to 2013 in Tamil Nadu is: inflationary gap was introduced by mining, agriculture, construction, industry, real estate, service. Forward shifting of tax burden refers to the shifting of burden from producer to the buyer. Green Revolution was introduced in 1967 in India. It started to raise the agricultural production in India. A also correct, B is also correct. In which year Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana was introduced? 2000 to 2001. Education is capital goods. Government started a scheme of maintaining stock of important food grains to ensure their regular supply throughout the year. Buffer stock scheme. Which year new economic or industrial policy was introduced? 1991. The organization which introduced Green Revolution in India is under National Food Security Act 2013. The poorest of the poor will get 35 kgs of food grains per household per month. Azari Report, Industrial Licensing, MRTP Act, Unfair Trade Practice, Socialistic Pattern of Society, Public Sector, Fiscal Policy, Tax and Non-Tax Revenues, Personal Income Tax levied on individual by Central Government. The Consumer Protection Act 1986 granted the district forum can the manner up to 20 lakhs. According to World Development Report, per capita consumption of energy in India is 12% of Japan. Which state in India ranks first in Human Development Index? Kerala. Which of the following state is having low literacy rate? Bihar. Okay, Pradhan. Agricultural Labor Price Index. Dhankar. PS Minnas per capita. The poverty gap. Okay friends, next class la meet பண்ணலாம். Thank you.